bring you this installment of ETN. TireOutlet.com. Wholesale prices, premium service.
This is Excuse the Nuisance.
Oh, man. All right, the Monday morning quarterback, divorcemenonly.com, trying to play ETN. Jason as our guest Guggen judge as we really...
Last ETN ever.
Yeah, probably the last one ever today. So.
Final, the grand finale, the
fun.
sayonara, now carrying well into the June month.
This thing's really held on.
We have an entirely new format that's going to begin on like July. Well, then you'll be off like July 6th or 8th or whatever.
Correct.
Sometime.
I think it's going to be the July is going to be the summer of drill, and we're just going to bounce back and forth.
What is Jason taking home?
Boy, this is the week to do it, man. Jason's getting himself, as will all our ETN judges this week, a 4-pack to the Coca-Cola Firecracker 250
man.
down at Daytona on Friday, July 6th. And also keep listening for those cues to hit the text line to enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 the following night.
Congratulations, Jason.
All right, Jason.
We're chicken dinner.
What's up, bud? You there?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, you ready?
I am, are y'all?
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll live.
Round 1.
Your name will, of course, will go down in infamy. There'll
Born
be a
ready.
plaque commemorating. We're carrying
Final
this one.
judge.
Carrying this one actually on Facebook Live right now.
Wow.
We've never done
Never
that
done it
So you can check it out live
Exciting.
as it happens right now.
It's huge.
That's
Never
what
been
we're
bigger.
doing to commemorate the last ETN in the history of the drill.
Round 1, guys. The U.S. Open is in the books. The former Seminole Brooks Koepka makes it back-to-back. He's the first player since Curtis Strange to go back-to-back at the U.S. Open. Koepka only has 3 PGA wins to his credit, but 2 of those are U.S. Open. So just where is Brooks Koepka's place amongst his peers, these young guns atop the PGA Tour?
Well, it's interesting because I was thinking of this after he won, and I was thinking how Patrick Reed and Brooks Koepka are your 2 major champs so far, and at the beginning of the year, they weren't any of the big 3, big 4, big 5, Tiger and Phil as well. They're not Day, they're not Spieth, they're not Rory, they're not the guys we pick all the time. So, but they're forcing their way in. I mean, Patrick Reed putting his name on the leaderboard and being tied for the U.S. Open on a Sunday after winning the Masters makes you go, oh. And Brooks Koepka going back-to-back at the U.S. Open makes you go, oh. And suddenly, Rory shooting 80 on Thursday and Spieth not making the cut and J-Day throwing up a 79. What happened to those guys? So, yeah, those guys have forced their way into the convo for sure.
I'm having a hard time looking it up right here within this time frame, too, but I'm going to guess that Brooks Koepka has far fewer PGA Tour starts than a lot of these young guns also. Don't forget, Koepka got a little bit of a late start. He went and played that European Challenger Series, and then that graduated to the European Tour. But he's only been a mainstay on PGA Tour for 3 or 4 years. So just 28 years old, and he just had a birthday here in spring. So, yeah, he's in firm position. Here's what I like about him. 2 chances, 2 finishes. That's what you need to win these things. There's a reason why Ernie Els has as many as Phil Mickelson, because Ernie closed and Mickelson didn't in many of their opportunities. So, yeah, I like Koepka adding to, Koepka may be one of those guys who wins 14 times and, 4 of them are majors.
Winner Jeff on that one.
Round 2.
Round 2, as impressive as the back-to-back win for Koepka was, it seems like the big talker was what happened Saturday with Phil Mickelson. His, whether you want to call it a mental gaffe, or as he called it, some kind of strategic play to hit a moving ball on the green and get assessed a 2-stroke penalty, take a 10 there. He was very kind of flippant about it afterwards, said people who were offended by it need to toughen up. Where do you stand on what happened with Mickelson Saturday?
I mean, I don't know what color your panties are, if that bothers you to the point that it seemed to bunch everyone's this weekend. I could also do without Fox getting on the high and mighty moral ground when they do like one event a year. So with all due respect, Joe Buck, stick to football, buddy.
Stop cyberbullying Joe Buck.
But secondly, as is typical Phil, somehow he makes it worse on himself. This nonsense right after the match of like you had it planned, it would have been a lot. You would have been every man, Phil, if you just admitted what happened. I lost my head for a second, man. I've been doing this very visibly for a lot of years. I think we can all agree that's about as far away from the straight line that I've stepped. I apologize. I probably should have just let it roll out, continue to play it. I was just frustrated at that point.
Stop cyberbullying Joe Buck.
And it'd be no harm, no foul. And to me, there's no harm, no foul. I take more offense out of hearing guys scream GD at the top of their voice over the cameras, or breaking clubs over their legs. Where's the offense of the game when you hear two fans? Hey, Fox, by the way, it's called a delay. Try it out next time. On Saturday, we heard two New York goons describe in great detail their most recent sexual conquest. So
featured a headbutt.
There's plenty of stuff that disrespected the game this weekend that as much to me as Mickelson.
If he had thought it out, by the way, and it's not a bad strategy, in essence. He almost holed that comeback putt when he jogged over and got it. To take that two-stroke penalty.
It was close, man.
Wasn't a bad idea. Now, listen, I agree with Jeff in the respect. I think he had three or four holes to think, I got to come up with something here. What am I going to say? Oh, that's a good strategy, right? Because if it rolled all the way off the green, it would take me at least 2 to get back up there, probably more. This way, I knock it close, put it in, off I go with my two-stroke penalty. So just wondering if there will be another situation where you can employ, and somebody was talking about Augusta in 15 and it rolling off the hill into the water, where maybe you can employ the two-stroke penalty where it could work to your advantage. And maybe that'll be a rule that somebody will have to think about changing down the road. But, overall, I thought people got way, way, way out of whack with that thing.
Very similar answers, Winter Jeff.
Round 3.
And I tell you, Dan, how the media can shape people's opinion. I was getting texts the day after from people that I've watched throw clubs 20 yards into the woods, tell me how disappointed they were with Mickelson. And I think that was from listening to Fox's, holier-than-thou perspective. And David Fay, take the starch out of your slacks there, Chief.
I think a lot of it has to do with the Golf Channel, too, because I was listening to the boys. And I like those guys, but it wasn't Sandman. Who's Rich Lerner. Just sometimes, man, Mr. Wax Poetic. Just settle down, dude.
Lerner may have disrespected the game on a couple of wild overseas trips back in the day. That was always the word out of the Golf Channel.
By the way,
Rivermill.
Koepka said after the win that only DJ, Bubba, and Phil reached out to him while he was off tour with the 4 months with a wrist injury.
Well, that's nice.
I mean, if you're Phil Mickelson, your place is secure. Don't worry about it.
No, I think it'd have been better off just admitting what the deal was, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Round 3.
Round 3.
Round 3.
Shifting gears, guys, to Omaha.
Omaha!
Where we always talk about how critical it is to win the first game at the College World Series. That did not happen for the reigning champs yesterday. The Gators fall 6-3 to Texas Tech. They're now in a win-or-go-home situation Tuesday against Texas. Have to run off 4 straight just to get to the title series. Obviously, it's not over, but just how close are you to putting that fork in the Gator baseball team?
You got a chance, but it's a tough chance. I mean, heck, we just watched FSU women do it, right? So it can happen. It's just very tough. It's very tough to do, especially because you've burned your best pitcher. You're gonna have to beat somebody twice. It's not easy, but if anybody can do it, maybe Florida can. I was just disappointed in the way Florida played. They played more like the team that struggled coming in than the team that won the regional and the super regional. They looked more like the team that lost 3 straight to Mississippi State, and the team that went out quickly in the SEC tournament than the team that battled through and was able to be victorious in the regional, super regional. And you got to have your A game in Omaha, man. There are 8 good teams, and they're all there for a reason. They're all there because they're usually on a roll. And so you slip up at all like Florida did, you're going to lose. So tough road to hoe. Not impossible, but if ESPN was going to put that whatever index on it, it wouldn't be very high.
No, listen, I appreciate the small amount of optimism you're trying to still display.
Darn right.
This is over.
Oh,
with
no.
a capital O.
Oh, no.
It's over. A question for you, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time the Gators won a game away from McKeithen Stadium? Because they got swept at Mississippi State to end the year. They went bingo, bango, bongo, get out of here at the SEC tournament. And now they have lost this neutral site game. Unfortunately for Florida, they're not going to move the rest of the World Series to Gainesville. Florida is over, losing with their best pitcher against an inferior team.
Florida sure is hurting with that catcher they got back there. Winter, Dan.
Round 4.
Round 4, guys.
Actually won one in the SEC tournament.
That's what I thought.
But they lost 2 in a row after that.
Yeah.
1, 2, and then 3 of 4. Yeah, they've lost a bunch of away from home.
Round 4, we've spent the last several days in the summer of LeBron trying to figure out just where the king is going to land, but very quietly, the quiet assassin Friday dropped a hammer. Kawhi Leonard says he wants out of San Antonio with his eyes on L.A. You would seem to think that means a team up with the king. Is that enough, though?
Well, first of all, the LA teams have apparently cooled a little bit because of the injury. I also see that's breaking this morning. The Cavs have reached out to the Spurs about Kawhi. That interests me more than LeBron trying to saddle up and chase rings. It's the further away from this season and the disappointment of him losing, the more the concept of just cycling along, trying to collect rings bothers me a little bit. So I don't listen. Kawhi Leonard, the bigger story is I'd like to know what happened in San Antonio. This is a guy who's going to give up $31 million to change teams. That's the difference in salary that he could have made staying in San Antonio. So I don't believe all these rumors I hear, though. I mean, it's a different one a day.
Well, I got a problem with Kawhi Leonard, and if I'm the San Antonio Spurs, I'm like saying, "Hey, Kawhi, you want LA? Guess what? What's LA going to give me? This has got to be a trade situation, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trading you to L.A. No way. Hey, Boston, who do you want for him?
Kuzma not enough?
Yeah, no. Kuzma's not. Kuzma and LeBron. Hey, you guys, you taking LeBron? Trade him down here. We'll give you Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard ain't getting traded to the Lakers, gang. The San Antonio Spurs are a pretty proud franchise, okay? And if Kawhi Leonard decides he wants out and has put the word out that he wants out and he'd prefer to go to L.A., GTH, Kawhi, guess what? You know what? I like the package that Memphis is offering me with the draft pick. So good luck with the Grizzlies for a year or two. You're not going to L.A.
Winner Dan.
Welcome to round
What about
5.
Kawhi for
and
LeBron?
prepare to die.
Kawhi
straight
for
up.
LeBron. They're
Seriously,
both in the same.
if you're the Spurs, I wouldn't trade him to the Lakers. There's not a chance in heck I'm
They don't
trading
have
you.
enough for me.
Yeah. What are you giving me?
The Lakers lose their draft pick too,
Lonzo?
right? They don't
Yeah.
pick, right? The Lakers don't have a pick. Didn't they lose they traded their pick?
Yeah, if they do, it's not in the top 14.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not.
What cachet do you have?
But I do think the Spurs, if they're going to trade him, should trade him before the draft to get one of these top picks, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah. Maybe that's what
Phoenix.
Cleveland's offering up. Maybe they tell LeBron, hey, stay put. We can get you Kawhi.
Yeah.
And if
Wanna roll
they
with that?
can, then maybe. But Cleveland would have to give up the 8 pick, Kevin Love, next year's first rounder.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Spurs would take that because Kevin Love also plays, Aldridge's position.
Honestly, Boston has the most tradable pieces because they got
to get Kawhi.
Yeah.
And apparently they tried to get him during the year. I read that this
And
weekend
if you're
too.
Kawhi, I'd be like, all right, I'm fine. I'll go to Boston.
I just don't know.
Aldridge is another guy that wants out of San Antonio.
I just don't understand how Kawhi can say that he feels the Spurs didn't support him. It looked the other way around from the outside.
Yeah.
Let's go. Lastly, round 5. I don't think any of us had a whole lot of interest in it going in, but there was a ton of action this weekend at the World Cup. Did it do enough to at least garner your attention this weekend?
I mean, listen.
There's a lot going on, man.
I know there is, and look, I respect and I like and I'm happy, but no, for me, I didn't watch much World Cup. I had a lot of other things, going on. The World Cup was not high on the list, and quite frankly, I couldn't find it at times. So, no, I obviously España 3, Ronaldo 3. I saw that. I saw Mexico's stunning win over Germany. There were a few powers that had draws. But they're all getting out of their group, so it is what it is. Again, without the U.S., it makes it tough for me. I'm still in the disappointed move that the United States is not in the World.
Well, the U.S. would be done by Wednesday anyway, so don't tear yourself up too bad. Listen, I'm an early riser, so I got up and watched it. It's not hard to find, by the way. It's either on Fox or FS1, so 450 or 434, and you're good. It's nowhere else but those two places. There were some intriguing storylines, but including, here's what I liked about it. Messi and Ronaldo, the two best soccer players in the world, basically a LeBron versus Jordan argument, have been going at it. Adidas just did a Messi commercial and they had him with a GOAT, the greatest of all time. So Ronaldo scores a hat trick, ties Spain, and then rubs his whiskers like he's the GOAT. And then Messi comes back the next morning with a chance to make his own statement and chokes worse than Dustin Johnson. He misses a penalty kick that would have won the game. That's the equivalent of LeBron James at the line. He's down one, he has 2 free throws, and he clanks them both. That's what missing a penalty kick is. So you had that drama. But by far, to me, the best thing about the Olympics, I took Mexico. They beat Germany, but more importantly, that means we're just one more loss away from expelling that booger-eating, disgusting German coach who scratch and sniffs and eats snot and everything that's wrong in the world. So that's the World Cup that you missed in a nutshell.
Go Tigers.
Man, gotta go winner, Dan.
Yeah!
That's terrible, Jason.
That's what I'm talking
Come
about,
on, man.
Jason.
And we got a World Cup question. I got one guy didn't watch
Taylor
any.
Twelman
I gave you the
over
whole
here.
thing. Jason, you're a fraud, bro.
Jason is the man.
You're a fraud, bro.
Jason Avir, simpatico.
With a big capital F. Jason,
Yeah.
you're why ETN's going away.
No, you're not, Jason.
So I hope you're happy.
You're not the reason
Enjoy
why.
your
Maybe you're why we're
tickets.
keeping
Enjoy the plaque.
You are the
Jason
problem
gets a plaque.
with ETN. So enjoy it. Have a great time. I mean, keep it out of the ditch today, Jason.
Want
but
some drink?
I'm worried about your
Fireball.
sensibilities, about your intelligence, quite frankly, and I swear I will go rip those tickets in half before you go to any Daytona racing. Yeah, I will.
Don't do that.
I'll find them.
Don't do that,
I'll
Taylor.
search them out.
No.
Turn that Facebook off!
The Drill.
On 1010 XL.
From the studios of Republic Services, we'll handle it from here.